Good morning, and it's Lilia from Heal Scotland and Scotland's Wild Medicine. And with me this morning, I've got Kathleen from Pro Health Therapy Scotland. Kathleen, how you doing? Thanks so much for coming on.
Good. No bother. Thanks for having me.
So obviously, I'm very, very excited about oxygen and
Yeah.
all the other things that you do there as well. But particularly, I think, I've been learning a lot about oxygen and the power that it has to help people, especially people that maybe can't do very much else. So first of all, tell me tell me what you do in Pro Health and how you got the idea and how you got it started.
Okay, well, currently we do hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy, colonic hydrotherapy, acupuncture. At the moment, it's weight loss acupuncture. We do wellness events and collaborate with local producers to help to offer natural products. It all came about through, I'll be honest, a fuck it moment. My sister-in-law, she has Pro Health Therapy Scotland down in Kent. So she has that clinic. She's had the clinic for 15 years. And I've always been really interested in health and well-being and exercise and the body and all those kind of things. So over the years, through my sister-in-law, Nicola, I have learned quite a lot. And she got into hyperbarics maybe 2 years ago, coming up 3 years ago. And so since she stumbled upon it, that's been the chat between her and I, hyperbaric. So one day I was just fed up in my other job, and I was cooking the tea and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And that's basically how it came about. Most of the decisions in my life have been based on fuck it moments, so it was a good one.
Well, it's kind of, you're guided by your intuition, aren't you? Really,
Totally, yeah.
Ideas coming in, you're something you're passionate about. And I know Jonathan that set up the Health Hub. He had a heart attack 8 years ago, started researching, brought in some oxygen thing from the US, and had it in his garage. And noticed the difference for him and some of his friends using it, and that's how it started. And I think that's what's great about now is that people are. I even heard Josh Axe talking about this. He said all the really important stuff that he knows now he didn't learn in medical school. We're getting together, we're researching, we're looking at things, and we're setting up businesses based on the heart much more than the pound.
That's it. Yeah, because if you went out to try and learn these things down the typical scholar path, the information's just not there. You wouldn't learn all this stuff. It's the passion of the people and the learnings of other people that you learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. Could not agree more. So, so you have oxygen. You've got HBOT. Have you got soft shell or hard shell?
Soft shell.
Soft shell. So can you explain to people the difference between soft and hard shell? And
essentially,
cons, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, the soft shell, you can have the lower pressures, which are deemed as safer. The chamber that we have at the moment is 1.4 atmospheres. So to explain, you and I are at 1 atmosphere. So when you're in the chamber, you're under pressure, and it takes you to 1.4 atmospheres, which is the equivalent of 4 meters underwater. So the pressure you would feel if you were 4 meters under seawater. The hard shells are typically used in cases such as diving accidents or carbon monoxide poisoning, more like a clinical setting, whereas this is the HBOT that are the lower pressures are used in more therapeutic situations. Not to say that they can't be used in situations where people have, say, cancer or whatever. It's the variables that you have to look at. So you could use a chamber, a hard shell chamber at two atmospheres, as well as using a chamber at 1.4 atmospheres. The time would just be longer for the 1.4. It's not that it's less effective, it's just the variable that you're changing. So it's the time that would be longer rather than the atmosphere that would be higher, if that makes sense.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. It can be easier for people who are very disabled to get into the soft shell.
Yeah. There's different models of soft shell. The one that I have is called an easy access, so you're able to get in it in a wheelchair. You can also adapt it. You can adapt it and have a chair in it. Sometimes some people prefer to lie on cushions. I kind of make it all about the person and how comfortable they are, because they are in there for an hour and 20 minutes. So they've got to be comfortable and relaxed, because it's beneficial. It helps the oxygen as well.
Of course it does. What about how do you breathe when you're in there? Do you just breathe normally, or do you do any?
Yeah, just breathe normally. You have an oxygen mask, but you breathe normally. It can get a wee bit sweaty, so sometimes if it's certainly in summer. But you can take it off. There's still oxygen in the ambient air around about you, and then you just pop it back on. So yeah.
So who is coming to you? What conditions, disease labels are you seeing?
A big range of stuff. So from people who are coming just for their overall wellness, because they've heard that hyperbarics can be really beneficial for wellness. I've had people with breaks, muscle injuries, and autism. I've been treating a little boy with autism, which is it makes my heart leap. This little boy came in with non-verbal autism, and his parents had been advised by a doctor in Leeds to seek out hyperbarics, which I was surprised that a conventional doctor said try hyperbarics. So they tried a place in Edinburgh, but it was a wee bit far for them, so they came here. He couldn't speak, he wouldn't look at you, he just wouldn't pay any attention, and because of all the non-verbal situation that he was in, he didn't eat, because he couldn't say what he liked to eat or what he didn't like to eat, which then went on to make him anemic. So there was a whole big issue. He wasn't eating. So what we did was we got that sorted out between Marion and I. Marion's the colonic hydrotherapist, and my sister Nicola, who's also a nutritionist. So between the three of us, we sorted it out. We kind of got him off the fibre sachets, because that's all he was having a day, 8 fibre sachets. We got that sorted out. I know, 4 years old, and that was his diet. Fibre sachets and liquid iron. Blew my mind. Anyway, we got it all kind of sorted out. He got down to 2 fibre sachets and eating food. And the hyperbarics, because the oxygen goes into the neurological pathways of your brain, over 14 sessions. We did 2 sessions a week, so after 14 sessions, he was looking at you in the eye, he was responding when you were speaking to him. At one point, I burst out crying. He came in and chatting away as you would. I was like, hey, come on, take your coat off. And he took the zip down on his coat. And I was just like,
wow,
holy shit. And his parents were like, so they were asking him to put his shoes on, and he would lift his wee foot up to offer his foot for the shoe. And so, yeah, it's been brilliant.
I'm nearly crying, you telling me the story.
Oh, he's such a loving wee boy. He would run in, like after a wee while, he would run in and just hug me, and it was just lovely. So
and how did you get him to sit for that amount? Did Mum go in with him?
Yeah,
and
So each family came along with a family member, his auntie, his dad, his mum. So they would go in with him. And I was trying to encourage the family as well. I was like, look, this is really beneficial for anybody that goes in there. I think that his gran came along at one point, and I was like, you going to go in? They were an Indian family, so she didn't quite understand. And I'm like, you go in. And no. So she wasn't, but yeah, the dad, the mum, the auntie, they all kind of had a wee shot. So it was awesome.
Can you put 2 masks on, or is it just 1 mask?
No, I've got an oxygen splitter. So
right.
the source of oxygen, yeah, I can split the oxygen so that they can both go in.
So everybody's going to get the benefit. That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So ended up I organised for them to be able to buy a chamber, because I've got another company called Oxy Red, and we buy and sell chambers and red light beds. So they bought one so that he can then go in morning, night, as many times as they like.
Right.
It's been that's my best so far. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is like mind-blowing.
Well, I mean, that's incredible, because you're not that long open, just like a few months.
No.
I hadn't realised that. So it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Jonathan at the Health Hub's been open for 3.5 years. So he's seen, because this is how we learn, right? Like, you can see the benefits people are getting. And we can never guarantee, what results people are going to get, because we're all different.
No,
I mean, the worst thing that can happen is nothing. And I think, and the same thing, there's so many kids unwell now. What a phenomenal thing to be able to offer in your community. Because in case, for people that are listening, Kathleen's in Dunfermline. Have you heard of PemFit out at Abernethy? No, I'll send you the pod that I did with Jim the other night, because I'm just thinking that'd be a really, how far away? I mean, my Scottish geography is not brilliant. How far away is that from you?
From Aberdeen?
No, from Abernethy.
Oh, Abernethy. My geography is even worse. Where's Abernethy? That's terrible.
It's outside Perth.
Oh, right. Oh, not far at all.
That's what I thought.
About half an hour?
Yeah, because I thought, that it sounds to me like, for people that need more, that could be a really good combo. I'll send you the pod and you can have a look. And
please do. Yeah.
He's had AMS since he was 21. I don't know what age he is now, but he's in his 70s. But the PEMF bed has stopped his recurrent UTIs, helping him get himself out his wheelchair into his bed easier.
Brilliant.
And I think, like what you're saying there, my aunt had MS, and I'm in Lochilphead. We had a hyperbaric oxygen here for 25 years. And I remember her going, and she started being able to write again. Yeah. And I think we always think of healing as eureka, getting up and being able to run marathons, when in actual fact, for a lot of us, it's just simply being able to do things again. That, for example, like undoing your jacket. That sounds like a tiny thing, unless you've understood that communication wasn't even getting through, transferred to that boy. Yeah. These are the things that are miraculous and so rewarding.
Oh, I mean, I just love him. He's just such a lovely wee boy. You can just see it shining through in him, and then when you see the differences in him when he comes in, it's just like, oh, so heartwarming.
And you're only just getting started. Now, what other diseases? People with cancer coming?
Yes, I've had a lady with bone marrow cancer. So it's one of the cancers that you just have to keep on top of to kind of manage the symptoms. The cancer's never going to disappear. She would come in weekly. So she did a session of 10 treatments, and she has got to go back to her specialist to get her levels taken. She refused all treatment from the doctor, and she prefers to do everything herself. So I'm really excited to find out how her levels are and stuff like that. She definitely felt a benefit in it coming down. And funny enough, she was Perth. I think she used to go to one in Perth. I'm wondering if it's is it a hyperbaric?
Jim's just got the PEMF. No, the PEMF.
Right,
he's just got the vibrational bed. He doesn't have oxygen, but it's very powerful. I've been there a couple of times myself, and he's seeing particularly long COVID, fibromyalgia, vaccine damage, arthritis, a lot of these conditions just completely lift. So, I mean, I'm just so excited, you know, because for so long we've had nothing to offer people that are chronically long-term sick, and now we have. And as I say, the worst thing that can happen is nothing. So, and it's really music to my ears that you're collaborating with colonics and obviously nutritionists. To me, that's the only way we can get guaranteed to get as many successes as possible, is to collaborate with other minds, other levels of experience, new ideas, people's different angles on you know, on the situation. So so is that,
you can't do it all yourself, and there's nothing more powerful than people that have got a common goal. And the people certainly that I work with, we're all on the path, like we're all just want to help, just want to heal people. So yeah, I'm really excited about what the future's got to hold with it all.
Well, absolutely, because you're kind of at the cutting edge. You know, this is quite, I'm sure even people listening to this are like, what's this? You know, because I know that I used to cut the hair of the guy that ran the, or he was on the board for the hyperbaric oxygen over here. I'm talking like 10 years ago. And he used to go around the world, you know, learning and going to conferences. And I was like that going, there's a major marketing issue here. Why do people not know about this? Because at that point, we thought it was only people with MS that were going to benefit. But of course, it's not.
That's it. And I think when you look at a lot of the studies now and a lot of information online, that's all that comes back. It comes back and it says that hyperbarics is for MS, diving, carbon monoxide. And it's like, oh my God, there's so much more.
And that's obviously the Heal Scotland mission, is like to educate people and educate, inspire, support. And that brings me to what I just touched on with you before we went live. I always say to people, there's a time issue and there is a monetary issue. And you've not come across that yet. But say, for example, somebody had a stage 4 cancer and you would really be wanting to work with them for a year, minimum, maybe 2. And we can't deny that there's a cost attached to that. Have you thought about how you would, been a big softie at heart, but also with bills to pay?
I know.
You know, how can we manage this? How can we make sure that people don't lose out because they don't have enough money? You get any?
I suppose community fundraising would be an idea. I would just give it to everybody for nothing if I could. But it's just not feasible. So yeah, fundraising. And having a central point where people know, like, I need help, I can't afford help, where can I go? Where can I get this financial help? Because as well, it's a barrier, and you would hate to think that people would get themselves in a huge amount of debt, because it's just another stress, it's just another horrible thing that they have to deal with.
Absolutely. And the reality is, I know when I work with the vaccine injured, and people that have been long-term on benefits, there is no extra income for the stuff. That's why we're so keen to teach online. So you can do it when your brain can take stuff in, and you can do a lot of it for free, because we obviously do and give away a lot for free. But like everybody else, we have to generate money to make it better, to get the word out, to educate, inspire and support. You know, it just takes even yourself setting up like an appointment system, you know, a membership set, you know, there's direct debits coming out every month. These like little costs, your mailer light, it all adds up.
It does, because I don't think people, if you've not been into it, if you've not done it yourself, people will think, oh well, all you need is X, and it's like, no, X comes with the rest of the alphabet. So it's an expensive thing to set any kind of business up.
So let's look at, we can talk about that, and we can definitely talk about that in our community and circle, and see who can come up with solutions for making sure, because these, you know, your place is in Dunfermline, Jim's obviously, he's in Abernethy, and we now both know where that is, 7 miles outside. I think there's a place up in Aberdeen as well, and we've obviously over in Quarriers. There's an oxygen, a hard shell oxygen and paisley oxygenate. And there'll be lots more that I don't know about yet, but please, if you're listening, get in touch and let me know, because
I think there's one in Stirling.
Stirling,
one of the members, Stirling.
That's right. I need to get them on a podcast too. So, because what we want to do is we want to educate people on the power of oxygen, if it can help you, and if it can help you demographically, because it's obviously, especially if you're not well, driving an hour and an hour back cannot actually undo all the damage, all the good that you've done. So we need them in as many communities as possible. And so how often would you be recommended? I know this is a very ambiguous question, but in general, if I came to you and said, what's the least amount of times I could do to get a result?
It would really be dependent on the person and the ailment. This type scenario where you were just wanting to give your body a boost once every couple of weeks, even once a week. If it was something more substantial, like say chemo brain fog, you've maybe had chemotherapy, so that I would suggest to do like a flood of oxygen. So maybe 4 to 6 sessions within a really short period of time. If you were trying to overcome an illness, say cancer, or something like that, that would be a longer period of time with very regular sessions. One of the things that we are about to offer in the new year is rental. So chamber rental, which that's where I would suggest that to people who were needing to come all the time. Because like you say, when you're not well, the last thing you want to do is get up, put a face on and go out the door. You just want to stay in. So chamber rentals.
I didn't realise that was a thing, but I was speaking to a young girl the other day, and she told me that she had rented one, but I don't think she'd really been given the correct education with it in terms of how to get the best out of it.
Yeah, that's one of the big issues as well. Yeah.
Yes, but obviously that would be the benefit of renting from you, because you would be able to, make a bespoke package for the person.
Yeah.
And also, I feel it's the narrative that we give people around the potential for healing, which we know disease can't live in an oxygen-rich environment. We've known that forever. But most people are not living in the forest anymore. They're under, they're under a lot of stress with fake lights and all the stuff that we know. So I think being able to take the forest into your home and being able to have that regular, because I know that with certainly say a stage 4, maybe something that was a bit more inflammable, let's say, for want of a better word, you could be in 2 to 3 times a day with some of these oxygen treatments. So you would have to have it in your house. So and also then you could let maybe there's a few people in your community likely that you could chip in and you could all use and make it affordable. What kind of price are you looking at to rent one? Give me just a ballpark figure.
Yeah, the market price is around about £600 a month, which is a lot. But when
if there was 6 of you, then
exactly. Exactly. If you've got your family going in it and you're looking at how many sessions that you would have had to have, and it is a cost-effective option.
Right. Fantastic. So how much do you charge per session? And then do you get them cheaper as you buy more? Is that how it works?
Yeah. So a singular session here is £75. We do block sessions, so we do blocks of 4, which is £280, blocks of 10, 20, 40. It's still quite costly, but I do offer to pay it up and stuff like that.
Installments. Yeah, because I think we just have to find a way to make it viable and doable for people.
Exactly.
So talk to me a little bit about the colonics.
Okay. So Marion is our colonic hydrotherapist. She has been doing colonic hydrotherapy for about 20 years. And colonics involves warm filtered, it's triple filtered water being introduced into the bowel and the large intestine gently with a speculum. And everybody asks, oh my God, how big is that? How big is the speculum? It's not that big when you think about the amount of water that's going in. So you lie on your back. Well, you lie on your side first. The speculum's put into your rectum. She introduces the water gently to get the matter out of the lower bowel. Then you go onto your back, and the water's introduced slowly in and out, stomach massage. And it's to get all the waste, gas, parasites and stuff all out of your body. So it's quite a nice, relaxing treatment, if I'm honest.
Is it? Yeah. And I mean, parasites, obviously, there's a lot of talk around parasites. People are starting to wake up that we actually are. We've got things living and eating inside of us. And that, you know, the data that's coming out about ivermectin and fenbazidol is very exciting. As you know, so it's all about rebalancing.
I've actually got personal experience with parasites and ivermectin. Yeah, so my face, I've always been kind of troubled with like redness and spots and stuff, but a couple of years ago, my face, it was terrible. I was waking up and there was like, it just looked like little plukes all over my face every morning, and I was itching. I kept saying to my husband, I'm literally crawling, it's horrible. Tried everything, absolutely everything for a while. And it wasn't until I was sitting chatting with my husband and I was like, it's really like there's something. And he says, Kathleen, that sounds like parasites. So I didn't realise at rosacea that there was 4 types. I just thought it was a red face. Or a nose that looked like you drank too much sherry. But I didn't realise there was one that was an actual mite that lived under your skin. So I got some ivermectin. I literally took 10 tablets, a course of 10 tablets a day, and I have never had a bit of bother since.
Wow.
Completely and utterly disappeared. It was honestly miracle cure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, I was seeing Nicholas Huber, he's put out some solid science. And again, you always have to be careful because you don't want to give people, you know, hope. But I just think if you've been given no hope, why would you not try these things? It's an absolute no-brainer.
Exactly.
And we know that parasitic activity, when it gets, and I've got a Biofield Quest 9, so I can look in and see what's going on inside people. And and if you travel a lot to foreign countries, you've got even when you don't travel, but particularly when you do. And my friend, Dr. Deborah Drake, she can tell by the name of the Latin names. There's hundreds of them. She's like, oh, have you been to Cuba? Oh, have you been to the Dominican Republic? Oh, have you been to Australia? She knows where they've all come from.
Because of the parasites she's finding.
Yeah. So, you know, much as I would never want to stop traveling, it can bring a lot of things into the body that were never designed to be in there.
That's it. Yeah.
So, and then you've got the acupuncture as well. So, because obviously weight, and especially right now, all this Mounjaro and Ozempic.
Exactly.
I mean, there's so much debate and arguments, and again, it's the long-term issues that can be caused. Acupuncture, which I'm such a massive fan of, because it's so powerful, so quick and so easy. And there's about 4 times over the last 30 years that I've had my back's, what you would say, gone out. It's been in a lot of pain. Every time one acupuncture session has put it completely away. And, you know, and by the time it gets to number 4, I'm like, well, it's not going to work this time. And the last time it happened to me, I was in Canada. And I went to the girl in one session going, it's just like, this is mental.
It's crazy. I know.
It's just that electromagnetic system, the meridian system, you know, and it's so, again, why would you not try it? Try these things. And there's so many things on offer now, and an awful lot of the things that are on offer are not available in the NHS, which is wrong, I think. But anyway, that's the way
Yes.
it is for now. So if you are not educated around the power of these things, and you're like, well, where do I go? What should I go to? And that's why I think, these chats are so powerful, because I'm sure you're like me. If you don't think you can help somebody, you'll send them to the person you think would be better.
Of
It's not a
course.
competition.
Oh, no, no.
We want success. We want people feeling well. We want them to get better and being able to parent their kids again, or look after their mum again, or whatever it is, that we're seeing in the communities where people are under
Yeah.
so much stress. So what testimony wise, what are you seeing, what are you hearing that is, well, apart from obviously autism, which is something I wouldn't have thought of, what else are you hearing?
So I had somebody in with an injury to their shoulder, a surfing injury. They had been 6, 7 months in pain from the injury, to the point that he was propping himself up on pillows to go to sleep. He was having to like wedge a pillow here and a pillow to kind of keep it straight. And he's a Sparky, so it was really affecting his work, self-employed Sparky too. So he was just kind of going through with the pain. He came before we even opened. It's a friend of my husband. My husband does surfing, so it was a friend of him. And he was like, come along, give it a bash, see what happens. He went in once and he's not had pain in his shoulder again.
Oh, I love.
I mean, that's not going to happen for everybody, but
no, I
it
know,
was like,
I know,
holy shit!
Yeah,
like 6 months of pain, and he's like,
I know, I know.
It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I've seen people come in with ailments and then contact me a couple of days later or whatever and said, by the way, like for instance, somebody came in again, it was a shoulder injury from martial arts. And a couple of days later, they were like, by the way, I've been feeling quite low recently for a few weeks, like just my mood's low. I wouldn't say depressed, but just kind of low. And after the hyperbarics, the pain had lessened in their shoulder and their mood had lifted. So,
Yes.
So it's not just all about pain and all this kind of thing. It really can help your mood, which is where I come from the wellness point of view.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I've actually felt it myself. But, and I think when you start to feel, when your mood lifts, when your vibration goes up, you make different choices. We all do.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
When you're and especially so many people with long COVID, chronic fatigue, vaccine damage, they're exhausted, they're apathetic, the time is going on, they've tried things and maybe nothing seems to really be working. They have maybe a few good days and then they crash back down again. That is a challenge to stay up emotionally. And that's why these biotherapies are so exciting, because it's just something where nothing else works. And you have to try it, because as they say that they do no harm. And the worst that can happen is nothing, but the best that can happen, maybe it just takes you up a few notches so that you can start making better choices with your nutrition, with your friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think now
it affects everything. Low mood,
yes, yeah,
low vibration, low mood. You're going to attract the negative. Bring that up, and you're attracting the positive, isn't it? Be the energy you want to attract.
Absolutely. And that, I think that's where I talk about this with all my friends, being around other people we all slide down, of course we do, we're human, but in general, if you can stay with people that are very aware and own their feelings and own their emotions and don't try blame, shaming and complaining it onto you, then it makes it an awful lot easier. And particularly, let's not, setting up your own business can be very challenging. And then, you're trying to get clients in, you're trying to get all your information out to people, you've got overheads, maybe you're trying to convince people as well. And that's why I think we have to, for everybody that's doing this stuff all over our country, I truly believe this is how we turn our health trajectory around. And, we've been talking to addiction services where I'm like, get them into fan infrared saunas. These
Yeah.
biotherapies are going to help lift the moods. It's going to clear out that cellular congestion, charge the batteries. We've got the solutions now. And now it's just a case of getting our own case studies, getting our own testimonies so that other people can be inspired and be lifted out the suffering of chronic degenerative disease.
That's it.
So thank you for following your intuition.
Oh, no problem.
And then I'll come and visit you at some point. My daughter used to live in Dunfermline, actually.
Say that again?
I've not been over. My daughter used to live in Dunfermline.
Okay.
So I love that area. And, you know, my friend's in a forest over there. I don't know if you've heard of Lindor Curative Forest.
No.
Another place you need to visit. So there's lots of really cool things happening all over Scotland.
Send an email. You're going to fill my year up.
Yeah.
All these places I can go.
Here. You need to, yeah,
because
I just think it's exciting, you know, for to realise that other people are on the same wavelength as you, and that it's, you know, because it can get lonely, you know, when you're in business and talking to other people and getting ideas and sharing rather than competing, collaborating.
That's it. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I know,
lifting each other up. Yeah.
Well, listen, it's lovely to meet you,
and you.
Thank you for joining the community, and I look forward to helping turn this trajectory of ours round from one of the worst to one of the best. So thank you.
No, thank you.
If anybody's got any questions, pop them in now, and myself and Kathleen will direct you later if anybody wants to ask any questions around oxygen, colonics, acupuncture. If you've been struggling with your weight, let us know and let's get on to the solutions. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, see you later.
Chat soon.